Good afternoon, family. That's right, it's not morning. It is actually afternoon. It's pretty quiet right now. So I thought I would record this video. I do have a neighbor over here who is playing some music, and hopefully it's not getting picked up on the recording. If so, I'm gonna have to have a little bit of music playing in the background. But I have been meaning to make this video for a couple of months now, and I just have not gotten around to doing it. And one of the reasons why is when I do these types of videos, I usually get all of the let's just say internet trolls cause a lot of drama. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the video because I know a lot of women need to hear this. So you heard me say women. This is a video for women. This is a study for women, not for men. If you are a man and you are watching this, you are welcome to watch, but please do not comment about things that do not pertain to you, especially if it is not something that you are going through. Like I said, you're welcome. You are welcome to watch, but please do not make nasty or rude comments. Okay, with that being said, I also want to say to the ladies, this is not a video to shame anyone. This is not a video to make anyone feel bad about their current lifestyle, their past lifestyle, or, you know, just the fact that you didn't know this, and a lot of women don't know this. So today we are going to talk about menstruating, because there are verses in the Bible, there are commandments that pertain to a woman's monthly cycle that is not taught in churches. It's not taught in a lot of homes, and most people kind of skip over this section in the scriptures. So I wanted to talk about this, and one of the reasons why is I can remember being in elementary and junior high school, and when you got to 5th grade through 8th grade, there was always this one day out of the year that they sent the permission slip home for your parents to sign so that they can talk to you about coming of age at school. And on that one day, they would separate the boys and the girls, and you know, they would have this talk with us. Well, my most memorable one would be 8th grade in junior high school. I remember we were going to PE, and instead of actually going out for PE, we had to stay inside of the locker room. So the girls inside of the girls' locker room, the boys inside of the boys' locker room. So we had our PE coach, we had the school health aide, and then we had a nurse that was, I don't know if she was from the county, the city, or whatever, but it was her job to go around to schools educating the youth on coming of age, you know, their bodily changes and the things that our bodies were going to go through. So having this talk, I remember one of the girls raising her hand and asking a question, because a young lady had said, my sister told me you can't get pregnant if you do it upside down. And you know, there was the little chuckle and everything and stuff, but one girl raised her hand and she said, well, my sister said that you can't get pregnant if you have sex while you're on your period. And I remember the nurse saying, that's kind of true, but it's not foolproof. There is less of a chance. And she went on to say that some women actually prefer to have sex when they are on their periods because you are more sensitive down there, and it feels better to a lot of women, so they actually choose to have it that way. Okay, 8th grade, that just kind of stayed with me. 9th grade, health sciences. I remember hearing the same thing. Early 20s, I remember friends laughing and joking that, you know, you can have sex when you're on your period, you just do it in the shower or you do it in the bathtub. And a while back, I was reading I guess you could say it was a commentary on a scripture, and at the end there was this whole platform, I guess, where people were asking this pastor all of these questions, and women were asking the questions about baptism. So one woman asked if she could be baptized while she was on her period. Another woman asked if she could be baptized while wearing a sanitary napkin. Another woman asked if she could have sex while on her period. Now, mind you, these are all questions that are being asked to a pastor. And he answered every last one of those questions, yes. Yes, you can get baptized while you're on your period. Yes, you can get baptized while you're wearing a sanitary napkin. And yes, you can have sex while on your period. And red flags just went up all over the place. So before I get started with what I'm going to say, I'm going to read the scriptures to you guys, and then we can go from there. Okay, so I know some of you asked me what Bible I was using. Today I only brought out the King James, not the New King James. This is the King James Version. It is a larger print. And I don't remember, let's see, who's it by? There you go, there's your information. Alright, so you guys can look it up for yourself. And if you wanted the same one, you can order it. I did find this one at Walmart. I think it was about a year ago, maybe. All right, so we're going to be in Leviticus chapter 15. And we are going to go down here to verse 19. Now, in this chapter, it starts off talking about bodily fluids, because it starts with if a man has a discharge. So we have discharges and uncleanness. Now, mind you, I know a lot of people think unclean and dirty are the same thing. It is not. We are talking about being ritually unclean, not dirty. So we're not saying that when you're on your period that you are dirty. It's not the same thing. Like I said, this is a ritual uncleanness. Okay, so the scripture says, and if a woman have an issue, and her issue in her flesh be blood, she shall be put apart 7 days. 7 days you are to be separated, okay? And whosoever toucheth her shall be unclean until the even. And everything that she lieth upon in her separation shall be unclean. Everything also that she sitteth upon shall be unclean. And whosoever toucheth her bed shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until the even. And whosoever toucheth anything that she sat upon shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until the even. And if it be on her bed or on anything whereupon she sitteth, when he toucheth it, he shall be unclean until the even. And if any man lie with her at all, and her flowers be upon him, meaning if her private parts be upon him while she is menstruating, he shall be unclean 7 days, and all the bed whereon he lieth shall be unclean. And if a woman have an issue of blood many days out of the time of her separation, or if it run beyond the time of her separation, all the days of the issue of her uncleanness shall be as the days of her separation. She shall be unclean. Every bed whereon she lieth all the days of her issue shall be unto her as the bed of her separation. And whosoever she sitteth upon shall be, and whatsoever she sitteth upon, shall be unclean as the uncleanness of her separation. And whosoever touches those things shall be unclean, and shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until the even. But if she be cleansed of her issue, then she shall number herself 7 days, and after that she shall be clean. And on the 8th day she shall take unto her 2 turtle doves, 2 young pigeons. These are the sacrifices used to the priest. There is no longer a Levitical priesthood. You guys know Yeshua came and he abolished the priesthood, so we don't have to do those sacrifices anymore. So we're going to go down to verse 31. Thus shall ye separate the children of Israel from their uncleanness, that they die not in their uncleanness, when they defile my tabernacle that is among them. This is the law of him that hath an issue, and of him whose seed goeth from him and is defiled therewith, and of her that is sick of her flowers, and of him that hath an issue, of the man and of the woman, and of him that lieth with her that is unclean. Okay, so when you are menstruating, you are supposed to be separate. This is why when you look at a lot of Orthodox communities, there are either two beds in the master bedroom, or there is a separate bedroom that is considered a guest bedroom, but you don't let guests use it. Or you have two beds pushed together, and during this time of separation, those beds are separate. There is supposed to be 2 weeks out of each month that husbands and wives do not lay together. You do not sleep in the same bed. You do not have sex. All right, let's go a little bit further. All right, so we're going to go over here to Leviticus 20, and we're going to go over to verse 18. And if a man lie with a woman having her sickness, and shall uncover her nakedness, that means he's getting ready to have sex with her. He's having sex with her. That's what uncover her nakedness means. He hath discovered her fountain, and she hath uncovered the fountain of her blood, and both of them shall be cut off from among their people. So when we get over to the New Testament, and we get into the book of Acts, chapter 15, we go down here to verse 29. And it says that ye abstain from meats offered to idols, and from blood, and from things strangled, and from fornication, from which, if ye keep yourselves, you shall do well. Fare ye well. Now, every time people do that, they go, oh no, they're just talking about the eating and drinking of blood. There's a lot more in the Old Testament to do with blood than there is with just eating and drinking, as we've just read. Okay, so why is it so important to know these scriptures? If you know the laws of blood and women and menstruating, like I said, it's not saying that we're dirty. It's saying that we are unclean. This is ritually unclean. You have to remember, this is blood in the lining of your uterus that was not used. It is there to sustain life, and it was not used. If a child was not conceived, this blood no longer has a purpose. It can't just stay there. Your body is ridding itself of something that was not used. So in this blood, you have live blood cells, you have dead blood cells, you have live skin cells, you have dead skin cells, you have other bodily fluids that your body is getting rid of. Your body is cleansing itself. Some people are under the impression that women of antiquity just kind of walked around and just let blood run all down their legs and get on everything, and they say things like, oh, that's because they didn't have sanitary napkins and they didn't have tampons. No, absolutely not true. Not true. Your body is almost in a state of mourning. You are getting rid of a part of you that has died. It's no different than the laws of death. You're not supposed to touch the dead body and all that other stuff. You have to think of it as your body is healing itself, and you need time for your body to heal itself. It's not saying that you can't be around your husband, or your husband can't, it's just saying that, at this time you are to separate. You don't sleep in the same bed. You do not have sex. You guys, this is a time for you to come together and really talk, get to know each other, when it comes to going to join the assembly. Can you congregate with the rest of the congregation? No, you are set apart. You cannot be with them. Then the scriptures, you have the woman who had the issue of blood for 18 years. it was such an issue because she could not be around the people. She could not go to the temple. She could not go to synagogue. She couldn't do any of those things because she had to be separate. You cannot go and join the assembly and sit on something and touch things and hug people and do all those things when you are considered ritually unclean. Everything you touch, everybody you touch, you have now made them unclean. You have to separate. Now, I'm not telling you this as if it's a command from me. I'm telling you this just so that you can't say you didn't know. Study the scripture for yourself. If you have someone over you that you value their opinion, whether it be, a rabbi, a priest, a preacher, Mari, whatever you have, go to them, talk to them. And if you didn't understand what the scripture says, you are to separate 7 days automatically. Whether you're menstruating for 3 days or 5 days, you still separate for 7 days. After that 7 days, you count another 7 days. After that, you are considered clean again. If you are menstruating for 10 days, you are unclean for the entire 10 days. Then you are going to count after those 10 days another 7 days. If that puts you at 17 days, that is how long you are unclean. You are unclean for the entire time that you have a blood flow, past 7 days, and then you count another 7 days onto that also. If you look at Orthodox communities, they have what's called a mikveh or a ritual bath. And after this time is when you go and you do that. Baptism, health aides, doctors, tampon companies, they all tell you that you can go swimming when you are on your period. You just wear a tampon. You are being baptized. This is a ritual bath. Unless you are the only one being baptized that day and there is nobody else in the water with you, I don't understand how you can do it. Because I would be highly upset if I was getting baptized that day and the sister in front of me is being baptized first and she's menstruating and she has on a sanitary napkin and she gets in that water and is taken under, and then I have to get into that water. That's a no-no. That's a no-no. We just read that you are not allowed to have sex while on your period. You're not. It's unclean. Scripture says that whoever does it will be cut off from their people. It is not something that the Most High condones. You are not to do it. So once again, I am not saying this to shame anyone. I'm not saying this as my own word, my own opinion, my own thoughts. This is scripture. If you did not know, now you know. So I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you continue to study for yourself. I hope you dig much deeper into this and learn for yourself and teach the other women around you so that no one can say they did not know. All right. So until next time, you guys stay blessed, and I will see you all in the next video.